Hello, everybody. This is Sam Soto from Melodic Metal Suggestions, and we are in another episode of Grow Your Opinion. And this time, we are going to bring you a super band that I love. I really, really love. But I'm not going to screw the surprise. He will introduce himself, and he's going to explain us a little bit more about what they're doing. Okay. Welcome, Luisito. How are you?
Hi, Sang. I'm very happy for having with us this amazing band. But first, I have to thank everybody for being here watching this new episode. So please remember to subscribe to our channel, give us a like, and make a comment to tell us what did you think about this wonderful band from this interview. Or you can recommend them to us, any band that you want to see or grow your opinion. Okay, to start this one, I'm going to make the first question. Who is King Satan and how would you define your style?
Hi, good evening, guys. It's a pleasure to have this chat with you over there. Well, who is King Satan? King Satan is the band project I founded, I think, 7-8 years ago. And yours truly here is Mr. King Satan, King Alastair Satan. I pompously enough named the band this way and thought to name myself according to the project. Band was founded in 2015, and you asked me to define our style. It's well, that's a tricky one because even the media always know how to define our style. The roof concept, I think, there, I agree with the PR departments that it is industrial metal, yes, but. The tricky part is that we are kind of genre fluid, industrial metal, and we have a lot of elements from different genres. For instance, I have a big and long history with black metal, so these elements you can probably hear with our music. Rest assured, we are not a black metal band, no. Even we take influences from that, and same with let's say melodic death metal, for instance. We got a lot of influences from there too. We got also a lot of influences from avant-garde theater and just plain rock and roll music. So altogether, this one, our drummer, Pete Hellraiser, came up with this term, death metal disco, to describe our music. So I think we are stuck with these two, industrial metal and death metal disco. So what do you guys?
Nice. You know, when I first listened to you, of course, I listened to the latest one that you have everywhere, that is a new Eon gospel. But I decided to go to Spotify and start listening your band from the beginning. And your first album, oh man, King fucking Satan, it's amazing. I really love that kind of music, that style that you had at the beginning, because for me, it was like if the Prodigy and the Covenant and a black metal band like have a song, and then it's you. And I totally love it because I love that kind of music a lot. I love the Covenant. I listen to the Covenant a lot. And I could find some influences from them in your music from the first album. But I really love what you did with the very last one that you have released 3 singles so far. But you did a change to a more heavier riffs and more melodic and like with more touches like from death metal and black metal, and I totally love the final product from your latest album. It's really, really cool. I love it. And this leads us to the next question. This is gonna be, like you said, a tricky one. You already mentioned a little bit, but I don't know, you would like to go a little bit deeper in who or what are your biggest influences like right now?
Right now, what you mentioned there from the debut album times, Prodigy was actually probably #1 influence during King fucking Satan. At the time, I thought like, okay, I want to do Prodigy meets D-Side and some Turbo Necro and Liepack together with the death metal stuff, and that was at the time something that I wanted to do. But for now, the influences actually with the Devil's Evangelion album, they are much more subtle because mostly I took influences, my conscious influences, to make this album from church music, religious hymns, and old folk songs about. And I wanted to combine these
Mhm.
into the extreme metal, industrial metal, and add a little bit of symphonic stuff there. Because with the church music, church anthems, they are melancholic, but they are a little bit,
Mhm.
most of them, they're a little bit uplifting, they're hopeful in a way. And of course, they praise about God and that kind of shit. But with the King Satan context, I wanted to do the same, but to praise Satan instead.
Yeah.
But this is the main influence with the Devil's Evangelion, and now that it's finished and I'm listening it, I can hear a lot of unconscious influences, from the times when I got into the extreme metal, and I hear those influences there, but they were never conscious ones when I made this one. But the maybe biggest ones might be, I don't know if you guys know this band. It's from Finland, but it's called CMX.
Mm.
CMX.
Mhm.
It's I think a CMX Talvikuningas album and CMX Iron.
Mm.
I think for me it's kind of obvious that those are like my ultimate favorite albums made ever
Mm.
in Finland. And I hear the influences there, and I don't deny them if they are there. But
That's good.
also besides that, with the new album, I think in retrospect, I hear a lot of old Cradle of Filth there.
Mm.
That I grew up in, grew up with, listened a lot when I was a teenager. But then again,
Mm.
there is this. I think Death Star's influences might be, Swedish industrial metal band Death Stars, and I think also I have to mention Rob Zombie, even it's Undying
Mm.
bit, because what Rob Zombie excels is the how he puts this rock and roll attitude in everything he does, and he
Correct.
uses industrial metal elements and stuff like that. And I listened to once a lot Rob Zombie, and I think that
Mm.
permanently influenced to me also. And besides that, I think
Mm.
future will reveal to me what kind of influences there might be. But it's very difficult, because when you are doing the music, when I am doing the music nowadays, I don't give a shit about what I want to listen
Correct.
like that. I just let it rip. I let it flow, whatever it comes, and I'm like, wow, we made
Correct.
this stuff.
Correct. Correct. No, and I was telling Leoncito when I listened you the first time, like, Leon, we need to get them in an interview because these guys are like this close to boom, being the top. I mean, you are doing great right now, but I'm pretty sure that you will be like very, very high very soon because your last album is something totally different. And I think people will recognize you because you have, even when we can see some influences in your music, I think that people will easily recognize you. And I love your videos. I love your uh, character. Oh man, it's amazing. And like you said, this church music touches, depending on your background in your mentality, they could be very dark. Not only like yeah, they're supposed to be from God and everything, but they can also be very dark. They depend on what you feel, what you like. And for me, it's amazing. It's your character, your the way you present the band is something else. That's why I'm thinking that you will make it super super big.
Yeah, and the way that you put all that thing and make an equilibrium about all of this, you created that. That's something that I really love it. And I think that you're breaking the rules, if we
Yeah.
can say from that way. So, saying that, I would like to answer. How would you describe your creative process?
I don't think I have necessarily one
Mhm.
creative process.
Mm,
I'm a kind of guy who hates routines. If I
mm,
do something once, I probably won't do it again. I want to move on. I want to try and test different things. But I think if there is something constant in this band project, it is that I usually, I mean, when I get the inspiration, I go to the studio and just start, doing things. I open the gates of my subconscious and I see what I do in the demo phase. And
mm,
those are usually very intense, like week or two. I isolate myself into the studio. I have a synthesizer there, I have guitar, bass, drums, and I do vocal stuff and I have a lot of lyrics. I write lyrics all the time. I always have a
mm,
note with me, and if I have some kind of idea, I will write it down, and I have shitload of lyrics that I have not even
mhm,
released yet. But when I get the inspiration, I go to the studio, I start, channel it, and I work uh, to the madness. After 2 weeks, I'm like, of course, I go eat and sleep at home and stuff like that. But
mhm,
I, I'm like, I drive myself literally crazy, trying to find a good riff, good melody, good arrangement. And then when I have the demos ready and I go after that home, I let the demos be in the drawer, and then I show it them to my bandmates, because even I compose most of the stuff myself with this band.
mhm,
Uh, I gathered band around me the way that everyone in the band is much more talented musician than I am, because there is
mm,
this running joke that if you are a multi-instrumentalist, you play many instruments, but none of them very well. And this is kind of
mm,
stuff that I wanted to gather a band who who plays every instrument better than I. Hecatebo plays much more better synths than I. Pete Hellraiser is much more skilled drummer
mm,
than I, and Jerry Rock'n'Roll plays he's a visionary bass player, and same with the guitar skills and EF. After this process, when I made the demos, I give the demos to the band to see what they feel about those, and if they could get a grasp of them and what they could change and stuff like that. We start. Usually, we have more songs ready than we
mm,
goes to the album, and then we start work them together. Usually after that we start work very intensely, me and the drummer Pete Hellraiser, because drums. I usually program the drums very simple
mm.
way, but Pete is very visionary with the drums, so we start. He lives in another town actually than I, and
Oh.
so we work from that part. I send him the demo. He goes to his own studio, I mean rehearsal place, and he tries different drum stuff, and he sends me his
Mm.
version, and I'm like, this needs to be changed. This is very good. This is very, and we then again, if I almost lost my mind when I was working the first versions alone, then we go and we drive each other crazy with the Pit
Mhm.
Hellraiser, and when we
Yeah.
have the material to see, okay, these drum tracks, they are fucking
Mm.
killer, and then we move on. Then in the meantime, we have been bombarded each other with the EF shows that hey, maybe this could be played like this, and maybe add this to here, and Jerry makes the bass players, and then with this new album, actually, we had a little bit of change of the
Mm.
dynamics when we made this Devil's Evangelion, because Hackett was who is the keyboardist with us. I played so much keyboards there, and when Hecate listened to demos, she was like, "Damn, Santo, you have learned to play these keyboards." She didn't want to know. And she said that she has in many of the songs she has nothing to add. Actually, half of the
Mm.
songs in the Devil's Evangelion is played by me, and
Wow.
half are the final versions even. And Hecate, she was much more involved in the production
Mm,
side. Like she was listening, like things suggesting what guitar could do and what bass could do,
mm,
and all the 3 albums in the past, I was the main producer, but now Heket was become much more involved in the production because she has a vast knowledge of how to make songs
mm.
orchestral and symphonic, like
Correct.
and I wanted to harness that, and that's I think that summarizes a little bit of the creative process here.
Wow. No, it's amazing, huh? It's
Yeah.
really amazing. It's we always love that kind of that question, especially Leoncito, because he has a band. I don't have a band, but he has a band, and he always loved that question because it's always very interesting to hear musicians and the talent they have, and it's amazing that in a lot of bands is one guy making the whole music, sometimes also the lyrics, and it's amazing. I don't know how you can create so many songs from nowhere. That's something really amazing. And okay, something that I'm gonna ask you for the next question is like it's very easy to kind of identify the answer for the next question, but I would like to hear it from you. Which kind of topic you use for your lyrics in your songs?
it's a it's kind of a loaded question in a way because it's kind of obvious, of course, that the archetype of the devil, Satan, is involved in this. But uh, well, in general, I write. Well, let's talk about the Devil's Evangelion album, for instance. The latest
Mm,
album. It's kind of it's a concept album I wanted to make many years ago
mm,
because it concentrates to the archetype of the devil. Christian version is Satan, of course, and because I have noticed a long time ago that everything related to the archetype of the devil shows things a little bit different way, like
mm,
in paradoxical way when it comes to the duality of the reality, like the cliches like a creation to destruction
mm,
and like something. If somebody wants to tell a truth about something to somebody, it might be hurtful because if people live in a lie, and in some
mm,
cases in darkness you can have a much more in proverbial metaphorical darkness you can have much more awareness to your own self, and light can
mm,
be blinding. And I noticed these kind of things that for instance, when take the perspective of God, a Christian God or whatever God, not even a Christian God, it's always black and white, good and evil,
yeah.
and kind of that kind of absolutistic way. And everything that was related to the archetype of the devil, on the other hand, were much more relative. It
Mm,
wasn't so black and white. In reality, there are much more shades than black and white. A lot of shades there, and that's actually the reality we live in. And I got obsessed about this side of the devil. And for instance, there are the how do I say it in English? Um, I wanted to transcend this duality that
mm.
with this album, and kind of
To go beyond that.
yes, exactly. And I noticed that the paradoxes which are inherent in every mystic and
Mm,
occult thinking, and I realized that through the devil,
mhm,
through the archetype of the devil and the influence of the devil, you can believe this devil to be real, symbolic, or both. It doesn't matter, but the result, how it reacts with the human mind. This is the
mm,
this is the thing that I wanted to work with the album, and how this is so. I mean, this is so complex thing that it's very hard to
yeah.
put a few words, and I still try to find ways to summarize it. That's why this is why I made the album, because I wanted to
Mm,
make sense of this. But I wanted to make an ultimate album that discovers some elements that are not usually dealt with when it comes to the archetype of the devil. And I
Wow.
wanted to make an album that resonates not only musically but also lyrically into this, and make a big concept album and which shows different sides of the devil. And I wanted to make this album already with the debut album of King Satan, but then I felt that I wasn't ready for this theme yet at the time.
Correct.
Um, I wanted to be like sure what I am doing here. This is why I came up with this theme that actually was part of our 3 first album. And we have a song in King fucking Satan with this name called Spiritual Anarchy. And I continued this theme with the second album. I Want You to Worship Satan. And third album was named Occult Spiritual Anarchy. And the first 3 albums, I wanted, do this very Nietzschean left-hand thing that destroy, desecrate, and question everything. Like a spiritual anarchy is a mental and spiritual version of anarchy. Destroy all the fucking foundations, spiritual foundations, and then what there is left, that might be something truthful. Like I say in the lyrics, it's all proverb that trust the ones who seek the truth, but run away from those who claim to have found it. And after these 3 albums, I felt like, okay, now I have destroyed the foundations of all spiritual structures here. Now I can finally watch the devil in the eye and make sense what is the archetype of the devil and how it is related to the world of men and human.
Wow. Very interesting. It's pretty much what the Temple of Satan is trying to do, using the archetype of the devil to create this philosophical devil, to create a satanic church, but they don't worship Satan. And it has nothing to do, of course, but I like this idea what they have, the Temple of Satan, and what you also have, because you're trying to go against all these stereotypes, these ideas that they force us to believe when we were a child, and these kind of things somehow is you enjoy it, but also whoever listens to you, if they are with an open mind, they can start thinking like, why this is wrong? This sounds better than what I was told before, and then you can start making the people think about your lyrics, and I think it's a really, really nice way to change people's mind, and I love it.
Yeah, that's I'm honored you feel that way from the lyrics, of course, because this is one of my agendas I want to do. I want people to find their own truths. I don't tell what is the truth. I want to make people think. I want to provocate people, to go in their own minds. And
correct.
And for this, because basically I have not yet actually said it quite directly, because this is a complex issue, because what I'm trying to deal with actually with this new album, which is why, by the way, we are making lyrical book. I don't know if you saw it. It comes a lyrical book, the record label makes all the lyrics of King Satan and some interview excerpts as a bonus material. Because for me, it doesn't matter in the King Satan's context. Like I mentioned before, that if you believe Satan to be an actual deity, or in the Temple of Satan or Church of Satan way, if you think it only as a symbolical. For me, I think either way, if it was a real or if it was symbolic is also, by the way, real. This is not as less real, but both of them, they causes reactions in our minds. It's how we perceive and channel the influence, whatever it is, if it was symbolic or if it was physical, it doesn't matter.
You think,
and only in philosophical sense you can argue. In scientific sense you can argue about the essence of this, but I'm not even the first one who thinks like this way. Not at all. There was this philosopher in the 1960s called Baruch Spinoza. I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm a Finnish, my but
Very close, very close.
he had this idea, even already centuries ago. He had this idea that it doesn't really matter if the reality is spiritual or physical, because it appears to be both of them. Sometimes it appears as a spiritual, sometimes it is a physical, and if it's fundamentally something, either way, it doesn't matter. It only matters that it manifests in different way. He called this idea as a neutral monism. And even today, people tend not to, well, philosophy is most of the time very fucking boring. I don't even read most of the stuff, but because in history there are a lot of good ideas already said, like Baruch Spinoza's idea about the essence of reality. But when people are, even today, it's year 2024, when people are talking about spirituality, materialism, stuff like that, they don't bother, most of the people don't bother to study the history of these terms, because a lot of men existed before who said many things. People are now like thinking for the first time. That is the problem. Well, we all know the cliche, like if you don't know the history, you are doomed to repeat it. And if you know the history, basically nobody listens to you.
Yeah. You may not repeat it, but at least you have that chance. And let me tell you something, and I'm sorry to tell you this, but you're a philosopher at the end. You like it or not.
Yeah, I have heard that before.
Yeah, and to be honest, whatever makes my mom scared or annoyed, I love it. Either your videos or your lyrics, I love it.
Well, that's I think that's an honorable mention for me.
Sorry, mom. Sorry. Hi for you.
All right, we continue with the interview. Man, what is the biggest obstacle that you have to face to get what you are now as a band?
Obstacle, you say?
Yeah.
Where do I start? Well, when we started with King Satan in Finland, the whole atmosphere was here in very liberal, actually. We were in the newspapers, giving interviews. They advertised our shows here, and it was like, okay, there's this band called King Satan and yada yada yada. And people were in Finland when we started the first couple of years. They were very secular, and we got religious people here, of course, but they are not so popular anymore. They're not so common like in outside, and right after we did our first European tour in 2018, outside of Finland, when we played the shows in like Italy, Romania, and Germany, and stuff like that, Slovakia, Czech Republic, and so on. Right after we went outside of Finland, there were a lot of people trying to cancel our shows because, especially in Italy, it's the Catholic fundamentalistic people, they got a sniff that this kind of band is coming who is King Satan, and they made a threat. So the bookers didn't want to book the King Satan there. Only one place did book, it was Milan, and Milan people in Italy, fantastic people, and we did have shows in Romania, but they tried to, religious people tried to cancel them. But our bookers, they were like, no, nothing canceled. This is art anyway. There's a freedom of expression, and we are, if we break any laws, then it's not about those Christians. Then it's a matter of police and laws and stuff like that. So, but as long as we are not breaking any laws, nobody should care. And we did play in Germany, but also in southern Germany there were some same kind of movement who tried to cancel our shows, and Then also when we made our debut album and we toured in Europe, and then this is a very ironic part because you probably know that Christianity is supposed to teach people peace and love and that kind of stuff. But we got a fucking death threats from fundamentalistic Christians
Of course.
from Europe and especially from America. Very psychotic messages come there, like "Come here and I show how to disrespect God" and that kind of shit, you know. And, it's it was a crazy time, and we got those quite often then, and it well, obviously they were fucking crazy people, but it doesn't. It's still something like that, you know. Crazy people are the ones who act anyway. It was,
Yeah.
and we didn't even. We figured out, okay, if this is happening, we need to deal with it, and then we just told you know, the concert guys that if some crazy Christians come there, so could you tell us, so we have we have time to prepare. And after that, our concert tour agent say that, damn, I think we need to call police about this. I'm like, okay.
Wow.
Stuff, but yeah, it's and well, this was the situation before COVID, and then we did this tour afterwards, and we still get these crazy Christians, and also some kind of a, well, usually they are very diehard conservative thinking people like that. This thing is going worse after COVID. You know, people become much more fanatic. I think maybe that's the isolation or something like that.
Yeah.
For instance, now some Christian group in Finland is now. This happened like a week or two ago. They are now planning to sue me for blasphemy in Finland court system because of the Chaos Forever Now music video. I made this South Park music video kind of thing. And I don't know how it is going, but let's see. Because in Finland, this is a fucking surreal thing, but in Finland, actually, blasphemy is illegal. You know, in the law, it is illegal, but nobody has been convicted about it.
Correct.
Ever since like 70s, because it's a long time ago somebody has been convicted about it, but it is still in the law, you know, that it is illegal to blaspheme Christian God. But nobody cares about this law. Even police, the law system is like, yeah, that's an old law, because we have also very strange laws that are still there, but nobody is supervising them. I don't know how to translate this in English, but if you have a house in Finland, you are supposed to have a certain type of shrubbery in your lawn there. If you don't have, you have to pay fines. Nobody those, but there are a lot of these strange laws, you know, with I don't know.
Yeah.
But the obstacles are basically related to these things, and I'm gonna say that this is not a surprise, of course, to us, because this is actually we discussed about. You mentioned your mom. My mom called me the other day, and she was like, she had watched some documentary about churches and stuff like that. And my mom was like, Santu, my name is Santu, by the way, in civil real life. But Santu, what you are doing with King Satan is remarkable, because that church shit must be destroyed. That was my mom's.
Whoa.
And this is exactly one of the reasons why I chose this imagery and this kind of symbolism and stuff like that, because I don't only want to address to people who like our music. I want to also shake the people, you know, who are opposite of the things we represent. I want to, in a way, like let's say Oscar Wilde and Aleister Crowley did. They were kind of social provocateurs, you know.
Correct,
They
correct,
want to
correct.
and well, in music context, of course, we might be what you call a shock rock or something like that, because I want with this art form which shows, I want indirectly send a message to the people who are against us, like that. Hey, we are representing these things. We are existing, and it's For instance, I played many years. I played in a black metal band called Saturnian. I was a part of a black metal scene many years, my early 20s, and most of the time in black metal, the blasphemous effect there didn't ever go outside of black metal scene. Do you know what I mean? It was like a preaching to the choir. They were fantastic times, of course. We shared general aesthetics and taste of music and stuff, but I have always been a little bit of trickster myself. I want to poke the people like, what do you think about this? What do you think about this? And I wanted to do that, and this is something that none of these obstacles. I would be surprised if there were no any obstacles, if you know what I mean. It just means that actually works. We are stirring the chaos. What tricksters are supposed to do.
No, that's good. Wow. Amazing, amazing. I think you can write a book about yourself. and I think we need to ask Rotting Christ, what are they doing to be able to present their shows everywhere? Because for sure they also have problems with that.
Yeah, I have heard about it. Actually, our manager used to work in Rotting Christ's record label before he started working with us. She told a lot of stories about Rotting Christ facing problems, and that's heavy shit. That was like they're older than us, and the times were much different in the 90s, for instance, when Rotting Christ started. That was also very heavy shit, but this is what I'm actually talking about. I talked about in the earlier answer, because when we started King Satan in 2015, those years up to the COVID, they were very liberal in a way, of course, outside of Finland, but I feel like those 90s times are returning. People are going again into the devoted Christian conservative mode. And I have to say, I have nothing against of traditional beliefs. On contrary, I think traditional beliefs are very important, but the syntax, their meaning, need to be developed into the modern syntax. But they exist for a reason. So I have problem with the people who too much go into the traditions. They seem to become too fanatic and take things literally. That's the problem with the religion for me. Because basically, I don't give a shit what anybody believes in. It's your own decision what you believe. But it becomes my problem, especially with Christianity, when they want to change laws, the society according to these religious beliefs. That's no longer a religion anymore after that. That's politics. And this has to stop.
Theocracy, yeah. I think that COVID started in a lot of people, created like a lot of let's say the trigger, a lot of a creative process in their minds, but in a lot of people created a lot of fear. And and at the end, when you feel fear, you try to get something to feel protected. And I think a lot of people went back to religions, whatever religion they could get. They went back to religions because they were afraid. And I kind of understand it, but I don't approve it. I mean, you can believe whatever you want inside your house, but whenever you go out of your house, man, we are all the same, and it doesn't matter what you believe. That's for me. But you know what? God works in mysterious ways. That's the problem.
Yeah, that's a problem. Yeah, that axiom can be used as a solution for everything. But I think you are right about that. And that is the whole reason why do we have certain religions existing? Fear of death. Fear of death is a very strong motivator. Some people refuses to face the fact that there is a thing called
An
death.
end. There is an end.
And for some people, it is very difficult to admit that that might be actually an end. That might be actually a completely end. But of course, well, I don't know if you know anybody who returned to tell afterlife, if there is an afterlife or anything. But it is whatever. If somebody wants to believe in life after this, it's still a belief. You can believe, but you cannot. In religions, this kind of belief, or should I say hope, it's kind of hope.
Yeah.
It becomes a fucking fanatic fundamentalist mentality for some people. But I, of course, like you mentioned there, I of course do understand this. I don't condone it. I don't accept the fact that happens there, but I'm not also saying that it might not be ended completely. Of course, energy transforms. Energy always exists in one way or another, but we cannot rule out the possibility, of course, but we have to be more open to the we have to be more open to the possibility that it might be also an end. And out of this fear, most of the human, religions and ideologies are born from, because it's much better if people go to sleep and they don't have backup plan for their out. It causes existential anguish, and it's a terrifying thing. And I'm not sure what is the answer anyway. I chose to be an artist, and I try to find answers that way. But everybody has ways to cope with these things. And
believe me, I think artists have better answers than most of the people. Believe me on that one. And you said something really interesting about the gigs and some obstacles you face when you try to play in some places, some cities. But now let's talk about the funny part or the best part. Do you have an experience that you can share to us from one gig or a big? It could be a big concert, could be a really small one, but something that really marked you as a band, something that you will never forget.
Yeah, well, basically most of them are like that. But from the top of my head, I think the first, well, of course, everybody remembers the first ones. And for us, first official show we had in Saarihelvetti 2016. That was a really really interesting show, because well, to first time to perform to the audience who were already well aware of us. Even we had like 5 songs released. And that was when I realized too that this band was actually meant to the stages, because before that that show, I thought I will never play live with this. That this was supposed to be a studio project, and I would do have fun. But after we released the Enter Black Fire single, right away people started asking we need to play live, and they invited us to concert. I recruited the band then, and with Saarihelvetti on that stage, when we started playing live, like it was hundreds and hundreds of people watching there, and for the first time I realized that fuck no, this was not supposed to be only a studio project. This is supposed to exist in the live environment as well, because the power with all the rhythmics and death metal disco kind of headbanging and dancing everything together, that was a very crucial moment for me to realize that yeah, this is definitely a live band. And that was on the top of my head. But maybe recently, it came to my mind when we were touring in the you last time we toured in Europe with November. Last November we supported God Minister
Mm,
in European tour, and on those shows when we were there playing to the people, I realized that uh, this is real. Well, this happened in particularly when we played in Birmingham,
mm,
okay. And when I realized, because on that tour nobody really knew who we were. We were supporting God Minister. We were trying to
mm.
find people, more fans,
Yeah,
marketing
yeah.
basic stuff and stuff. But when we were in the Birmingham, we got the audience who had no idea who we were. We rallied them up. Everybody was in fucking fire. The place was full of energy. And then I realized that music is always a spiritual thing, because it makes
Correct.
no fucking sense. You cannot put it into words. It's a transcendental experience when you let it rip. And that's a language which goes much more deeper than the language we speak now here. We
Correct.
speak English here, but the music is something that we don't even have to understand what we are speaking, but we share the musical understanding. And that was a really ecstatic and even spiritual experience for me. And I realized
Mm.
that how people experience music, good music from their opinion, like the when you get the goosebumps when you listen
Yeah, yeah.
stuff. And that's a very transcendental thing because it comes outside. It's like goes into your brain, changes your chemistry, and you will feel something that wasn't already there without, taking any. Don't
Mm.
even need to take drugs. Somebody can take drugs, of course. It can enhance
Yeah,
this.
yeah,
It's,
yeah.
this Birmingham show. That was. Then I realized the spiritual power of music
Mm.
itself. That happened in last November. That,
Wow. Wow, that gotta be amazing. One day, you and your band, Leoncito.
Eh, I
come
hope
again?
not.
No, I said that one day Leoncito and his band, he may get something like that because he has a band, Leon.
Yeah, you mentioned it. What is your band called?
There's a new band we just formed from now. It don't have a name right now. I used to play in a band called Noctambula for a lot of time.
Mm.
It was some of black and gothic metal, and
That's a good
that
combination.
was
Mm.
yeah, that was nice in the moment, but for another situation, we have to stop the band and I go to do a different things. So well,
Mm.
that's the way of the life. So, Alistair, what are you currently working on?
Actually, I'm working for one more music video for the album.
Mm.
We filmed it just now, and not sure when it comes. It's an extra music video for one of the singles. I mean, songs of the Devil's Evangelion, and that's we filmed it actually 1 kilometer there in the forest and in a certain
Wow.
basement there, and we made it as a. And I'm editing that because I direct music videos. I produce, direct, and edit and
Wow.
write the music videos too.
Yes.
And that is currently on my desk. I need to finish it. I hope I finish it by the next week, so it could come out like I don't know what are the plans of the record label. Maybe it comes week after or 2 weeks after or something like that. Apparently current style is that it's normal to release music videos after the album is out also to remind. So I think it's a good idea. This is
Mm.
what I'm working now.
Nice. So that's mean that the you were involved in the direction production of a new Eon Gospel?
Yeah, I wrote that, I directed that, I produced that, I edited that, and I was also an actor there.
And
And
acting, yes.
yes, and yeah, I do. Not many people.
Wow.
I mean, not all people realize, but I have done all the King Satan music videos. I am the director. I am the writer, because for me, making art is not just the music. I want the visual experience. I want the graphic experience. I want the lyrical, metaphysical. I want the musical, spiritual. I want everything. For me, the whole thing is a continuum. I'm like like Hekai the boss said that I should say that I'm more of an artist instead of mere musician that way. And maybe that's true, but the video,
Wow.
I love making music videos, and this with the New Age and Gospel, I actually
Yeah.
won first time I won awards for the music video. That's
Ooh.
it was a Sweden Film Festival. They wait a second, I will show you.
Yeah. Qué perro, güey. Es que está bien perro el video, güey.
Sí, sí.
Está muy bueno. Oye, otro pedo este compa, ¿no?
Sí.
But this is actually the mask from the video.
Yeah. Wow.
And actually, there is also that mask is also from the video.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a for the first time, our record label and our manager, and actually kudos to the God Minister's Björn, because Björn suggested that King Satan should go to the music video festivals and stuff. So, New Age and Gospel in the summer, we won this.
Wow.
It's and also won this one.
Wow. Nice. Well deserved. It's an amazing video.
Happy to hear. It was very fun to make, and
Yeah.
biggest production we ever made. We, even we had to be in touch with the police and fire department because we were making big fires.
Yes.
And actually, I'm very glad I did it because a lot of people are calling 911. Like, what is happening here?
And then they can sue you because you're doing something illegal. You don't call the police.
But that's the ironic part, because I was laughing so hard when I called the police, and I'm saying, "Hi, I am organizing an anarchistic rally. Can I have your permission?" That's like,
Oh my god!
But yeah, the cops say that as long as we don't break
Keep
any
it
law.
safe. Yeah.
In Finland, we need to inform the police, of course, in this stuff.
Correct.
And for instance, the music video, "The Abyss of the Souls," we released 2 weeks ago. The black and white stuff. For that, I didn't ask any permissions because I would like to make guerrilla style music videos. I don't like to ask permissions. It's much more easy to say, "I'm sorry, I didn't know." Afterwards. So with the New Age Gospel, it was an exception because there were so many actors, so many people. So if it would have gone down, it would have ruined the experience with the actors, the extras, and stuff like that. But with them, for instance, the Abyss of the Souls, we went to the downtown of Tampere right after the business hours, getting there, and we figured out, okay, my cameraman, check out that nobody is coming there.
No way.
And, we had no permissions, but for these kind of things, we don't necessarily even need permissions. Once a police, came, actually, the video. I'm walking there with the rope with me. I have the sign which says Gnati Selton. And Hecate is having blindfolded oracle style there. We walk there and we see that the cops kind of see what the fuck is happening there. And they're coming to us, but then they see the cameraman,
Oh,
so,
yeah.
Okay, they're making out.
Okay, yeah.
But this gave us an idea that basically we could do anything as long as we have a cameraman with us. We could go to the bank, rob the bank, and stuff like that.
It's an experiment, social experiment.
Yeah. But yeah.
Wow, amazing. Now I can't wait to finish this and go back and watch the videos in more details. Now that I know that you are the one making all these, the direction, and I will pay more attention to small details, because for sure I'm very sure I'm going to catch something there. And I will let you know, hey, this is something funny, or this is amazing, or whatever. I will let you know, because I want to pay more attention to the details. Now that I know that it was some kind of improvised and some other kind of like organized, but for sure something was just on the fly. So I will watch it with more details.
Yeah, it's well, I suggest that. I always try to, well, if you have read my lyrics and stuff like that, you know that I'm a symbolist. So I hide a lot of small symbolic gestures, and you know how,
Correct.
for instance, with the New Age and Gospel, all the positions and stuff like that, I want to have them symbolizing certain elements and stuff like that. And
Let's see how many I can catch. Like a game. Let's see. So the next question is going to be very interesting, because we always get so many kind of different answers. And the question is, where would you like to be in the next 3, 5, 10 years?
yeah, where I'm now. I just me and my fiance, we work at last few years. We have made a transfer from the city to the countryside. It was a kind of we had a place in the countryside, which is this place where I'm now, and we had a place in the city, but we did this gradually. You know that we spend more time in the countryside, and some months ago we resigned the city apartment completely, so we live in the countryside now, upper way beyond Tampere, not even Tampere anymore. And I have actually filmed many of the music videos around here because there is it's a quiet here, you know. There are forests. I have a barn there, which is a very good studio to, you know, make different kind of filmings, setups and stuff like that. But I'm kind of you ask it where I see myself after that. I see that I want to develop this this place, this ranch Satan. We are living here. I want to kind
Based on
of
Satan.
Exactly, and that's because I'm after an artist. I want to. Eventually, I will fix. We have some cottages there in the backyard, which are very old, in the 40s after the World War. But they're now a warehouse because nobody really take care of them. And I'm dreaming to fix it in the becoming years and make it my own studio here, because my studio is still in Tampere. It's a long way to go there to make music, but I have a home studio here also, actually. But I'd like to have build a real, like, you know, paradise of the King Satan here for myself.
Oh, that would be great. That's a town where I would like to go and visit.
Like that amusement park or something like that.
Yeah, feel like home. You can call it like hell in the earth.
I will remember that when we need to make a name.
You're welcome. It's a good name. It will be a good name. No, that's amazing. It's amazing. Yeah, it's good. And I live in Norway, and I don't know how. I haven't been in Finland so far, but I suppose there are like a very similar culture, like in Latin America, and I can imagine living in the away from the city, like in the suburbs or in the woods or almost in the woods, and it's amazing. It's amazing. Honestly, you don't miss much from the city. I mean, because all the cities are very small just to start. So
it's a very Norway and Finland. They are basically. Which part of Norway you live in anyway?
I live in Stavanger.
It's south.
Yeah, it's southwest.
Southwest. So it's near the ocean, right?
Yeah. We have beach here. Yeah. I never go to the beach because it's too cold, but I live in the beach.
Basically, also Norway, outside of the big cities, that's very similar where I live here in the countryside. because whole Scandinavia outside of the big cities, it's lakes, forests, lakes and forests, and more lakes and forests.
Mountain, rocks.
Well, actually, in Finland, we don't even have a mountain because Norway stole our only mountain back in the days. We have very high hills. We don't have mountains. Right after in the north, when you cross the border to the Norway, the mountains begin. Right in the Norway.
Only mountains. Yeah. Wow. Interesting. I'm gonna investigate more about it. I love like history and that kind of things. I wanna see like how these people took your mountain, man. I'm gonna start making like something like please return this mountain to Finland. They need a mountain.
That's actually a very good idea for that also.
Yeah,
Actually,
I hope they nobody tried to sue me for that.
a lot of my family or my tribe is actually originally Norwegian.
Oh.
But it's centuries and centuries ago. They actually still live in the north of Norway. Well, I already told my civil name to you guys.
Uh-huh.
My last name is not either a really secret, but my last name comes from the Kveni people of northern Norway, the original people of northern Norway. My last name is like a Kvenlandian. It centuries and centuries ago, my forefathers they live in the Tromsø in the north of Norway.
Tromsø, yeah.
From there they started come to Kalix of Sweden, and from there, and then they settled into the Tampere area first. But then basically Kveni people they were very good businessmen. They sucked with warfare. They were very terrible soldiers. So that's why they had to always move, because the German they took the influence with Sweden and then Slavic people there, and my people ended up into the East Finland where nobody else would want to live, and this is the kind of thing why which is actually influenced to the way I perceive things, because the Savonia, Kainuu, those places in the East Finland, North Finland, they're very brutal places to live. Always cold, very difficult to even farm or anything like that. Over the centuries, that made all the people around that area, deal with the dark and heavy situations in life with the dark humor. And this is why it's when I moved, I don't live there anymore. I live in the South Finland now. But when I moved here, and I have this Savonian dark humor in me, I always make jokes of everything. That's how Savonian people are. And when I come to the south of Finland here, a little bit in the west, people here they have different kind of humor. They don't understand when I'm joking, when I'm joking. But this is the cultural difference even between the Finland. And this is something that I am using with King Satan as well, because I have serious things, but I have a lot of dark humor there also. Kind of, related to where I'm coming from. I'm coming from a place which is very difficult to live, so we need to make fun of ourselves, of the situation.
Correct. Yeah, that's amazing. I think that's one of the reasons that we got, no, Leoncito, like from other Finnish bands, that they say that life is in Finland is somehow is kind of dark, that or has been dark by tradition, that we are good on making very melodic music, because all the tradition that we have, all the past that we have, and it's amazing. It's amazing because nobody else can do what the melodic metal bands from Finland can do. I mean, some people are trying to copy, but
it's unique in a certain way.
It's unique, yeah, it's unique. Only you can do it. It's amazing.
It's I think it's the long dark winters here, and there is a difference between Finnish melancholy and with the Swedish and Norwegian ones. They are different kind of thing. This is I think this is the centuries of history in Finland because Finland has always been in the middle. You know, the Russia other side and the rest of the world. We've been always the buffer between the West and the East. Not necessarily either of them, and this has created a very unique atmosphere also here. And also, there's this urban legend going. You know who is Genghis Khan, the famous Mongolian Genghis Khan,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
warlord.
yeah,
And
yeah.
at one time, Genghis Khan came to the from the east. They come, they conquer everything. They conquer most of the Russia, basically all the Russia. You know what was Russia then. They conquered a lot of things, but they stopped to the East Finland, to the border. They stopped there. And this is an urban legend, but the reason why they stopped there because they say that this is a place of wizards and witches and stuff like that. We cannot go there. But apparently the real reason was that this place was so difficult by its nature. Lots of swamps, coldness, darkness. Very difficult to farm. But it was better for the troops' morale to tell them that there are witches and
Correct.
kind of stuff because
Correct.
conquerors they are not afraid of swamps or anything like that. But because of this, they never came to here, and this is the same reason why Finnish people have been here, you know, always in the middle here because this place, even it's beautiful. I fucking love Finland, all the green, all the summers
Yeah,
especially. I love the winter and stuff like that. But it's also kind of the whole melancholic thing. It's inherent in Finnish nature, and that
correct.
I think it was in to all the metal bands, not
Yeah.
just us.
Yeah. We cannot deny it. Nobody can deny that. Very interesting. We're learning more and more, Leoncito, in every interview. It's very interesting.
Yeah. So for all the people who doesn't know you, principally here in Latin America, which of your song would you recommend them to start with?
I think, well, of course, I'm promoting the new album here, so maybe the new Iron Gospel from there. But that would be also a very good suggestion in the first place, even if they're not recommending the new album, because the new Iron Gospel has most of the elements we have in most of our songs anyway. It is a combination of anger, it's a combination of melancholy, and there are industrial elements there, there are extreme metal elements there, and it's dance, you can headbang to it. And I think that would be something that maybe if should be introduced yourself. You want to be introduced for the King Satan.
Yeah, me too. I think that song is incredible, and whoever listens that song for the first time is gonna be like, "Who are they? Where have they been my whole life? I need more of a King Satan," because it's amazing, and the video is super catchy. Even I think that even religious people will watch it for whatever reason, but they will watch it, man. I guarantee you.
I have came into the understanding that we do have religious people as fans. In our show, some woman came to talk to me, and she said that she's actually a devoted Christian, and she knows that we are King Satan, and she said to me that the whole Satan versus God thing makes her to think these things much deeper. And who I am say to nothing. I'm actually that was kind of an inspirational moment that she could enjoy the art and even have a dialogue with the art. And still, try. She wanted to be in King Satan show, and she likes the music. And she, of course, says that she never will be a Satanist, but said that the stuff we have been doing actually helped her not to kill herself. You know, that's a very deep stuff. She was very depressed, and I mean, what can I say after hearing those things? Because I was like, that's beyond honored that if I can help somebody like that.
Yes.
And even if it's a Christian, it's a human being still, and that was a very very surreal and that kind of what I mentioned about our Birmingham show that this thing what we are doing it's in the end very spiritual, even to the people who don't share the actual ideology. That they can still find some stuff like this person who shaped
Correct.
this thing to us, and I
Wow.
that those kind of comments when we actually gotten frequently those kind of comments that we have helped people for, to have strength when they have had dark times in their lives, and that's a very humbling moment. I mean, that's a very humbling moment, and I'm very honored that honored is the wrong way. I'm very happy
Correct.
if that we can help somebody like that. It's but that is the power of the music, I guess, right?
Correct. Correct. Correct.
Yeah.
Wow. It's
It's actually
amazing.
like this because in Latin America, it's a lot of people that maybe they even talk English and they love a lot of black metal bands, a lot of death metal bands, and a lot of music that has that kind of message. And they still love it. If you do an amazing music, as you are doing right now, the people connecting with that.
Mm.
And that's in the start.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's kind of when you are watching the horror movies. I think music as an art form could serve also a same way. I have said in many interviews already, even in this interview, that my idea is not to make people Satan worshippers or Satanists. My idea is to help people find their own truths, to make them to think for themselves. And if I am helping to do that, that's a purpose of art anyway. Yeah, and
Correct.
same thing when you are watching like a horror movies or something like that. Even if you root for you might feel sympathy for the characters, even the antagonists, but
Correct.
yeah,
they still might be inspirational for you. Like let's say, well, everybody's seen these days Batman. Everybody knows Joker there,
Yeah.
and Joker is the antagonist there, but still you feel sympathy for the guy, and that guy makes people think. That guy makes people to realize who they are, despite that's obviously the bad guy there. And
Correct.
actually, well, this might not be a surprise to you guys, but the Joker character from Batman is a huge inspirational for me, especially when the first album and second album. That's
Yeah. 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 At the end, there's no light without darkness. At the end, so I think it's
I,
a good analogy. So,
almost.
uh, can you tell us where people can find you? Where, which networks are you using? Social networks? Where can they find your music?
Uh,
your
I think,
website.
I think well, Spotify, obviously. Spotify, you can hear our stuff. YouTube, our music videos are in the YouTube, King Satan TV. And, well, we have Instagram, we have a Facebook
Mm,
channels, TikTok, and I use term we purposely because I'm not always using it. We all have access
mm,
to it, and we have a personal pages, of course. They're not very hard to find, but band stuff, King Satan official at the Instagram and Facebook, you can find there. But yeah, also
yeah.
I'm not sure if it what it's the situation in South America, but I'm guessing you can find our albums from the record stores there too. The South America is I know that there are a lot of people who listens to us actually, but
Mm,
some reason both South and North America we have a growing number of listeners there, but our operation is very focused with the concerts and distribution with the album and stuff. It's very European concentrated, and
mm,
I really like that to be changed in the future because I have been told that South American audiences are fucking fantastic, and I want
mm.
to experience that.
Yes,
Yeah,
we
yeah,
are.
it's something else.
You have to live it. Man.
Yeah,
You
and
have to
also I
come
think,
here and live it.
yeah, also I think one of the biggest advantage of playing in Latin America is the amount of people. Because in one single country, you can have followers as many as maybe in all Scandinavia.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you got
and the energy, man. The
Yeah, and
energy
the
of the
energy
public
is
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 another
is,
thing.
is Yeah, it's something else. It's something else. So yeah, I hope Leoncito can go and see you very soon in Latin America. I live in Norway, but I would love to see you playing over there because I think they will love you. We are South Americans. I mean, he is South American. I'm Mexican. That is North America somehow. But I think that since we have all this background from Latin America, we can tell you that people will love you for sure. People will love you. They just need to get to listen to you, and they will do it. They will do it because I think you have some product that is great here, and your image, everything. You have everything to call people's attention. So I think people will listen to you, yes or yes. So let's close this, Leoncito. Any final thinking, Leoncito, about this?
Well, I would like to Alistair say her last word from this interview, and we can close it.
Any last
Well,
words?
well, thank you for a nice chat. It was really nice to chat with you guys, and I hope this will lead us to someday to play both Norway and South America. But our next album, The Devil's Evangelion, will be released next week. I hope the people who are supposed to enjoy it will find it, and who will get offended it, I hope it will find them too. But,
Yeah.
yeah, thank you for
Oh,
the
very
interview.
nice. No, very nice.
Yeah, thanks to you,
We
man.
I gotta tell you that I was very nervous. I told you, Chito, I'm very nervous because I love this band, and every time I interview a band that I consider myself a big fan, I always get nervous because I don't want to screw it up. I don't want to screw it up. I want to make it like a very nice shot, and I think we got it. It was a very interesting shot. We could continue for more hours for sure because you are a very interesting people, and you have a lot of this open mind that we love, and general knowledge that also we love. So thank you for being here. Thank you for giving us this interview. We are going to do everything we can to promote your new album, and I hope we can chat again later. So let's see where destiny take us. So for everybody that is watching this, thank you for making it all the way to this to the end of the interview. Remember, we have more interviews. Go and check them. For sure, you will find a band that you love. And please check King Satan. Their music is amazing. And see you later. Stay metal. Bye. Okay.